So in general, security does mean the state of being free from danger or threat. So that is what basically which we are looking into that. Like it is a you have to consider from freedom from danger, risk, etc. Safety, like you whenever you are going home and sitting in home, you always feel like uh, uh, you are very much part of secured and part of safety or freedom from care. Uh, See, generally, when you are talking about that, when we are there without any anxiety, without any doubt, without any tension, so that is what we feel always secure. So it is a kind of a well-founded confidence. So it is very difficult to give 100% of this 100% security to each and every activity. But however, when we are feel comfortable and when we are there, so that is where we always say that security in terms of a human being language. But when it is coming to the devices, cyber, because cyber is nothing but so whatever that device or component which you are using for electronic and electronic based communication, we can consider directly as a cyber. When it is cyber security, so you also have to defend like so to stay security we defend by having a house. Similarly, but that house should be locked properly so that our things won't steal by anybody. So that is where when you have a part of the network, you need to also implement some depend things, and you need to protect against various adversaries from those who would do harm or intentionally or otherwise. So when it is coming to the national point of view, so because we are all part of a ministry, so we always protect our devices, because you know that whether it is a pandemic or whether it is the reasons with how the countries which we have a relations with, either it is could be a Pakistan or China, so they were we need to they were always trying to do some kind of an either intentionally or intentionally to get information from us. We should be very careful, so that that is where when we are looking about national point of view, security is like in a multi-layered system that protects the sovereignty of our nation, or even though part of organization, we can say that a country or state or organization, their assets and resources, and moreover the people are very much important. You may be having a lot of things to protect, a lot of cyber security products, but a small mistake from a human being, like in a keeping in a default password like mighty at 123, CDAC at 123, gives entire information to the others. So that's what, as being IT ICT system involved in everywhere, securing data systems, etc., is very important for every individual. So cybersecurity need, as a person, all you people, we are part of even though if you detach our organization from us, so we use our own purposes, mobile personal devices, and we may be using broadband at Wi-Fi, and we may also having some kind of a financial frauds, because we usually use because of the whatever reasons busy, we will never, nowadays we are now not going to the banks, so because of the digital India program, whatever the reason, so we are, everything is at our hands only, so that we need to look about their security. And there are a lot of phishing mails are coming. Phishing mails are generally comes from the our colleagues itself, or our known persons itself, or our interest, based on our interest itself. It could be because the attackers are understanding about your requirements and what exactly your behavior in internet. Based on that, if you write a message, based on the message you may get some kind of mail or advertisement in your browser, other browser. So that is where the people are learning of your behavior and understanding your behavior, and also understanding your weaknesses. Based on that, these phishing attacks are happening. The financial scams, so there are frauds and scams which we will discuss as separately. But however, a lot of scams are going on. Still, the pandemic is or even the epidemic and pandemic time, these scams are increased. And a lot of attacks are happening through emails. We can't say that attack. It could be like an attack could be like a cyberbullying also can happen through email. That is what I'm also saying. Abusing through email, which is one type of attack. Social network sites where we are part of as an individual, we post a lot of information where unknowingly we will give the information so that we are in some other place, so that nobody is there at physically at your home. So similarly, mobile device threats, laptop, mobile threat was going on continuously. So identity theft is one of the key things can be happen to as a person, and that these identity theft attacks are different to when you are part of an organization also. So as a person, I wanted to take your position and to use your identity and use whatever the powers you have at home, financial powers. When it is coming to the organization, the administrative powers which you might be having, that can be also taken over that. Email hacking, social engineering, sites hacking, a lot of things are happening in this. Misuse information is also nowadays is increased a lot of things. People are without considering the facts, there are a lot of messages are going on where we believe some of the things in this. So when it is organization, it's like the same attacks may be there here in the chair, but the way of implementation would be a different. That is what as part of the organization. But so like DOS attacks and DDoS attacks, domain stalking, website intrusions, website defacements are happens. So you are the most of the people may be managing these either administratively or managementally or technically. So that's what are the things we need to do this website intrusion and website defacement in the next few classes with respect to auditing and assessment, and how to take an certain empanelment organization and conduct regular cyber exercises. These things we would be discussing while you are meeting. So critical infrastructures are very much important. So those who are managing OTs, those ministries who are from critical organizations like oil, nuclear complex, such establishments we need to protect there, where we need to understand the communication, how these OT devices will do with the IT devices. So IT devices, OT devices. So as per my knowledge, the communication, they may be using TCP IP only, but however, from there, OT devices, they have some kind of a connectivity server, which are maybe they kept it aside in such a way that, but communication between these them, either TCP IP, so that what is that today we are learning the same thing. The cyber, coming to the national perspective, there's cyber warfare, where it involves the action by a nation state or intentional organization to attack and attempt to damage another nation's computers as information networks. Though, for example, computer viruses or malwares or ransomwares, denial of service attacks. These are the kind of attacks they may try to do to stop some countries not to knowing about themselves or not to be penetrate themselves, or intentionally penetrate and getting the information so that it would be useful in this one. This was already started long back itself. China has started this APT things from last 2004-5 onwards continuously, where they are collecting left and right all the information, whether they required or not required, because information is very much important to establish a kind of a connectivity also to even the destroy also. That's what they are collecting, whether they're required or not required, whether language in Hindi, English, French, they don't mind it. They are still continuously collecting, so that where are the critical things are there, where are the critical infrastructures established across the nation. That is what their countries which we are looking about that. So of course, defacement of the various ministries, various critical organizations is one of the way to defame defame or whatever, degrade. So those organizations, is one type of agenda. Web intrusions, so that continuously they can be part of our part and look into that. Cyber terrorism, of course, refers to use the internet in order to perform violent actions. So anything violent things they want to do in various places in across nation, if they are using cyber, that means like email communication or whatever the communication, CCTV communication, where it is included, we call it cyber terrorism. So terrorism is creating a terror or violent. So that either threaten or result in seriously bodily harm or even loss of life. Cyber terrorism acts often aim to achieve political and or ideological advantages by means of intimidation. So this is one intimidation, fear, and threat. So the nature of cyber terrorism covers conducting involving computer on internet technology that is more motivated by political, religious, or ideological, and even though some of the countries against, like example of Pakistan versus India. So attacks on critical infrastructures is another thing, like in a SCADA, supervisory control and data acquisition, industrial control systems, automatic identification systems. These are the critical infrastructure they try to attack and stop them, or the way they were means. So that exploiting of existing vulnerabilities, 0 days or targeted phishing, and even the targeted phishing attacks will increase and continue to pose threats against on these critical infrastructures. So the malware propagation is one of the thing where malware propagation is basically to understand what kind of systems are there, what kind of infrastructures are there, whether they were strong enough or weak enough. They themselves is tested so that the information can come through. So APTs, what used by China, is also using such kind of information. Such kind of malwares only propaganda they will do it, so that the scanning and probing, continuously scan of IP addresses, scan of services of various critical organizations, which helps them to identify vulnerabilities so that they can do some denial of service attack, then distributed denial of service attacks by exploiting the things, which we will see tomorrow about all the things there's a practical way. And cyber espionage is another one to take over some of the things and to build their similar kind of things. When it is coming to the cyber security, is the practice of defending computers, servers, mobile devices, electronic systems, networks, and data from malicious attacks. So anything you are keeping in a legitimate things, and that disturbance of legitimate things are happening where on a particular network or thing, so where it does mean that there are gap areas. Cyber security is that kind of a practice which is defending such things to avoid such attacks. So cyber security, it is also known as an information technology security or electronic information security. A thin line differences are there in between cyber security, information security, and kind of information security. So information security is generally says that a larger domain than cyber security, because if I don't know any information that some organization using these devices, it would be very difficult to attack. So information is required to attack anybody. So that is where information is the plays important role and a bigger role. If we have even the critical things, and if nobody knows that you have these critical things with you, they can't harm. So that is what first line of defense to secure information. So that is where we need to work it out. So that is where we need to define information security. Otherwise, there are a number of names are there: cyber security, application security. But basically, the computer security, cyber security, or information technology is the protection of computer system and networks from various adversarial things. So what is some exercise for you defending cybersecurity? Go to internet, see about number of definitions where you can adapt for defining cybersecurity for your organization, and maybe you map with yourself your organization requirements, and can we consider after going through various definitions, and you make it as a one statement where it could be your policy to secure your things in your organization, or it can become as a vision or mission statement as part of your organization cybersecurity policy. So this is one exercise you can consider from your side. And now we will go to the, so there are, so with this exercise you can do that. So, but a successful organization should have a multiple layers of security in place to protect its operations. So that could be a physical security. Physical security is to protect physical items, objects, or areas from unauthorized access and misuse. Then personal security. See that people are very much important. For any organization, there are three things are there. One is people, processes, and technology to implement security. That we generally called as a PPT model. PPT is nothing but so which we discuss again. The personal security, that means personal is to protect an individual or group of individuals who are authorized to access the organization and its operation. So that you need to implement an authorization, authentication, and accountancy to enable personal security also. So then operation security is to protect the details of a particular operation or series of activities. And communication security is to protect communication of your media, technology, and content. Network security is basically to protect network components like switches, routers, gateways, connections, and contents. And gateway in particular, because their gateway is how the gateway helps you for internal members, the same gateway will help to the for external users come into your signal. Then information security is to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information assets, and whether in storage, processing, or transmission of your data, your information. It is achieved via the application of policy, education, training, and awareness, and technology. And people, you need to train, you need to educate, and you give awareness each and every member, because information security is the responsibility of each and every person of an organization. Now I am giving, so I'm stopping here. So the remaining slides which you can see from your e-learning point of view. But however, these are the notes and everything is available with respect to the e-learning which you can access. I request Nandiswar to take over to discuss about IP address. I also support in explaining this IP address and their practical through Wireshark. Thank you very much.